Yes, yes. The podcast is going.
Yes. Can you hear good? Everything's good?
We're good. We're good. We're levels.
Pump up the crispness. The crisp.
The crispness is important.
You could do that.
These motherfuckers, but like the internet gets a hold of this, and I'm not blaming the people, like the cooks or the waitresses, it's not their fault. It's a raging alcoholic. Correct. Yeah. You know, it's just shit food. It's shit food. Shit for 5 minutes. The intro would roll.
Phonyexpress Show Podcast.
That's just somewhere special.
Phonyexpress Show Podcast.
This one was really good though. On the radio. I know it's not fucking bad. That's what I'm talking about.
Welcome to the Phony Express Show podcast,
Shazam.
episode
17.
17.
Yeah.
Afternoon edition.
Afternoon edition. Shorter edition.
Shorty.
We'll see how long we go. But
Shorty. We're going to go until we have to stop going.
Yeah,
I think that's the plan, right?
Yeah, so like a 40 minute.
40 minute. Maybe.
Like a half staff Phony Express Show podcast.
Yeah, it's like a we go until we can't go anymore.
Right, that's absolutely correct.
We got time limits today, boys and
That's true.
girls.
That's true. How's your fantasy doing? Since
My
we're in the
fa-
middle of a Sunday.
Steve is kicking my ass. You know,
He's
he's a little creepy.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
you know.
he's got
I was
the voodoo.
blowing him away,
he's got the voodoo.
and then I look again, and I'm losing.
yeah. It's the way she goes sometimes.
I'm losing.
Yeah, I got Austin Eckler got smoked, so he's out.
Tyler Boyd walked off the field on his own power for my team,
Okay.
so we'll have to keep an eye on that.
I'm gonna have to turn you down a little bit.
That's fine.
The mic.
Got to keep an eye on that.
Yeah, we're just doing the levels.
Levels.
So you got new gloves, I saw.
Yeah. But I don't have them yet. They're shipping from Italy.
Gotcha. So you got excited. You bought the gloves.
Oh,
and
so
We're
excited.
doing some aggressive spending again.
I got aggressive on the spending late at night. Happens
right,
sometimes.
it's always late at night.
Always late at night. I get these ideas, and
You gotta
I buy
commit to
shit,
'em.
which is fine. One piece of gear
Yeah.
for the next 3 months. I'll have everything I need to go to the track.
Yeah.
So I rode over here in 50-degree weather. Ooh, that was a chilly bastard.
Yeah, it was chilly outside.
But
50 or 50? Yeah,
50. It was
yeah.
like 49 when I
Well,
left.
I mean, it was like a low of. It was in the 20s.
Yeah, I had to
last
wait
week
until
and
like
shit.
noon before I even thought about getting on the bike. But I
Good
had to
shit.
go out and try these new headphones. Got some 535s here.
Yeah, I saw those little.
Expensive as shit, but the gloves are stuck in customs. That's great.
Awesome.
But I saved $100 on them. Exchange rate, Italy. Way
Oh
to go.
damn!
Yeah, they're $430 here. I got them for like
Right.
$310.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, same shit. Just gotta get it from across the world
Yeah.
to save the money.
How much is shipping?
30.
It's not bad.
So I saved like $90.
Yeah, I'm cool.
Saved, these headphones I'm wearing right now are like $350. They're on sale for $550. So I count that savings
Sure.
plus the glove savings.
Gotcha.
I'm able to justify just blowing $700 quick.
Right.
Well,
Well, that's
but
the way it goes.
I don't have a baby like your boy Kev over here.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. I'm a dad.
Yeah, he's dad, big dad time. So
Kid's
we're-
not home yet, but we'll figure that out.
no. That's why we're able to do 45.
Yep, because we gotta go back. I
Gotta go back, places
I
to
got
be,
my-
things to do,
I got my stickers on.
babies to feed.
Mhm.
Gotta go.
Yep, babies to feed, and change diapers and all that kind of stuff. He's a cute dude. Baby J, he's a good dude.
We're not going to do any last names here, but Jamie Clark, absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Good name. Haven't shot my
Fantastic.
bow at all.
No bow shooting going on.
Jiu-jitsu. I've done nothing. I've
Nothing.
been at the hospital.
Did
That's
you even
what
watch
I've been
UFC last night? Were you able to do that?
doing. No. Fuck. That's so right. Yeah. Let's
Got
see.
fucked on that deal.
What was going? Who? Oh, I saw Holly Holm beat the gal. So that was good.
So you saw like some snippets.
No, I just I just kind of looked up what happened. I just saw that Holly Holm beat the girl. I didn't actually watch the fight.
You don't know how it happened
No,
or how
no.
many rounds it took.
No, it was a decision.
You know,
So
it's
it
like-
went 5. Well, if it was the main event, yeah. So
it's
it
like
went 5
talking
rounds.
to a woman. If you don't have the details, do not talk to a woman. You didn't fill your basket with information, so we don't have any idea.
I have information. It went to a decision. Holly Holm won, which means it went the whole way. It wasn't a stoppage. That would mean knockout or
5
something like that.
rounds.
Yeah, I think it was a main event, so 5 rounds.
Cool.
It could have been 3 rounds if it was like a weird thing, but no, it was Saturday, so yeah. Yeah, the days fly by. Like we were in like it was technically it'll be a week tomorrow. Like that'll be the full week. So it's been 7 days and it just I was like, "Oh, is it the second?" They're like, "Nope." I'm like, oh,
No, it's not.
right. I was like, okay. But a lot of Schitt's Creek, which is pretty legit. Have you ever seen that show?
No, but I heard
Huge.
it's awesome.
Huge shout out to Schitt's Creek. Eugene and Daniel Levy write it, and they play the father and son in the show, and it is just great. If you're late on it, just hop into it. It's 20-minute episodes, so it's like Parks or Rec or 30 Rock or 70s show. Something you can fall asleep to if you want.
I'm gonna have to check that out. That
absolutely,
sounds pretty
yeah.
awesome.
Very, very high regards. I give it some.
South Park Pandemic Special. If you haven't looked
saw
into
that
it,
too. Yeah.
gotta watch that.
That was funny as hell.
The trailer just has me geeking. The kids are sitting in the classroom in glass boxes.
Yeah. I like the whole cops teachers motif where it's okay. I'm not trying to get too far into it, but like they call the teachers and the cops are the teachers. I'm not gonna get into it, but like we're the teachers, and they start talking to me like it's not our fault. We're underfunded and like have bad resources. Like everything teachers lack, cops also lack theoretically. This is very funny. These like they South Park is just you can't get better.
Trey Parker and Matt Stone absolutely killed that show.
They break into Build-A-Bear to try to figure it out.
How long have they been ripping that show? Like 1998?
I mean, it's 20 plus.
It's got to be like almost like Simpsons level. But
I mean,
they've been
when I
going
was
since
in-
like the 80s.
When we were in college, it was like the 15th, 16th season. So, I mean, we're talking like 24,
yeah,
22,
they just can't stop. There's
22
too much
seasons.
money in it. They're too smart. There's too much shit in 2020 to not have a show
I know.
about it.
I mean, they do a great job. And Randy is, I didn't know he was, what was it? Tegrity Farms. Tegrity Farms.
What?
Randy, he sells weed at a Tegrity Farms.
Oh yeah, because Colorado's now like a weed state. Now
Yeah.
like-
So he's
he became like a weed farmer.
well, that was it. It was the pandemic special.
Right.
That
right.
was the name of the episode, but
right.
also like he had a special for his weed. That was the whole thing. The pandemic special.
Pandemic special.
Like, deli special. Like the Tuesday special. Yeah. And his wife, I forget his wife's name, but she thought it was unethical to have a special during the pandemic, which I know a lot of people feel.
I heard some news today. Landlord clothing companies thinking about getting a little
Pooch.
an untrained beast.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, he could walk in. The untrained beast could run downstairs during the cast. Wouldn't that
Oh
be
my
great?
god, that would be like totally
Though
cool.
it is still a little early. Though they left. I think.
How long does it take to adopt a
Mid-morning?
dog?
How long?
Yeah, like if
Not
I want to, like,
long.
I want a dog.
Okay.
Like, what are my steps? Like, I show up there and I'm like, that's the dog, and then
Yeah.
we got to just write it up, do
Yep.
some paperwork, like buying a
Basically.
fucking car or something.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of answer some questions, and they want to make sure you're going to take care of the dog and not be weird.
Basically, like fuckboy proof paperwork.
Yeah, and then there's money involved if it's been spayed, if it hasn't been spayed. So there's some birth control things in there.
So
The
you pay the bill, you cut the nuts off, and you can take it home, right?
Yeah, they do the spading and neutering themselves usually. So usually you're just paying for like vaccines or like whatever they need. It depends when you get the dog. See, this is my advice if somebody was like, oh, I want to get a dog. Always adopt, because that's great. If you want a dog, like, you're specific, then fine. I get it.
Rescues are cool.
Yeah, rescues are great. And, you never know you're going to get, like, personality-wise and all that. But you never know you're going to get personality-wise anyway, right? I mean, that's the difference. Yeah, you could say, like, oh, he acts just like his mom or dad, like, because you've seen the mom or dad or
Of
whatever.
course.
But at the end of the day, yeah, genetics are very, huge. It's fucking dogs, right? But also think about, like, the malleability of that and personality. Like, dogs each have every animal kind of has a thing. And yeah, you can like mold that thing, but at the end of the day, like if they're a certain way, everybody, a parent would know this. Theoretically, maybe I'll grow up into knowing this too. But there's like inherent things that you're not gonna like shake out of it. If you understand
Right,
my
like
drift.
traits.
Yeah. Like Lucy like loves like there's some like instincts too. Like there's no way I'm gonna be like, hey, don't be super super aware of the squirrels and bunnies. Versus like Kelly's other dog, right? Completely different personality. They're both mix. Cattle dogs, right? But like didn't give a shit about anything running in the yard.
No fucks given.
See,
I'm a cat guy, so I'm gonna adopt a cat when I finally get a place, and it's like
Right.
I'm gonna get a
Oh, so this is what you should do. This is what you should do.
6-month-old cat.
Yeah,
I want to
so-
know about the cat. I don't want
I
to
know.
get a kitten who's like, and turns
Why
out to be
not?
some.
No, the kitten you nurture and then
No,
you become the mother.
no.
It's part of the fam.
No. I want to adopt the cat that nobody else is going to adopt that otherwise probably
Oh, that's
put
super
down.
cute. So
Yeah,
there's
it's like a
there's a cat
6-month-old
like
cat.
that. It was called Darth. What's the
No,
kid's
I'm going to rename
name?
the cat Oscar though.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
But anyway, you ideally look for a new batch of puppies because then you feel good about it, and you don't get into a situation where you're looking at some dogs that you feel like you have to bring home, and sometimes those dogs are there because their personality traits are a little tough to deal with, right? Not only aggressive, I'm talking about
tough
just like high
to deal.
maintenance.
Tough to deal with.
Yeah, high maintenance. Let's say you have a dog that like shits all the time. Like that's hard to deal with. You know what I mean?
It just won't. It won't stop shitting.
No, even medically, like they have like to wear a diaper.
Medically
you know?
shitting everywhere.
Or there's just stuff like traumatic things that happen too. But if you get it as a puppy, usually if you go at the right time, right, you just wait and keep searching the websites until it's like, hey, we have a brand new thing of puppies in. You got to go because everyone's going to go. That's when everybody goes. Brand new puppies.
I'd probably go with a puppy just because then I could start training it from a young age.
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't
want to
get
part of the family.
You know.
Yeah. Well, like Katie's or the sister's dog that they're Luna, she was adopted like a year and a half in, and they had to send her to obedience school. You know.
Yeah, I mean that's what you got to do. I think if you get a dog that's
you
over
gotta
a
drop,
year
like,
old, you just got to get them. Yeah, that's what it costs.
Yeah.
But you know that going
Well,
in,
you
right?
can do it yourself. Like that's what I mean, people work and that stuff, so that's probably not going to happen. But ideally, if you had the time, like when I got Lucy, I just put my 2 weeks because I had just got a new job, so it was a perfect little window because I was going to take 2 weeks off anyway. Because I get walked. I'm a salesperson, so when you say, "Hey, I got a new job. Here's my 2 weeks notice," usually they say like, "Okay, great. You're working in the city. Conflict of interest." It's very polite, but they're just like, "You have to leave."
Now you're gonna leave.
Yeah, and you say, "Great," and you already packed everything up because.
You don't tell anybody until your office is packed up. I don't know how this works.
Oh, yeah. Do you want me to give you the lowdown?
Yeah, kind of.
So as a salesperson, if you're going to give in your 2 weeks notice, hopefully the only reason you're doing it is because you have a new job. And even if your new job is not related to what you're doing now, lie and say like you're, going to a competitor into a competitive environment. Because the whole point of a salesperson is like you retain clientele.
I suppose we've had a couple salespeople at my store that announce their 2 weeks notice, but they've been there so long and they know they're going to like retire, so they just let them finish the month out.
Oh, that's fine.
But if you're like,
but that's also, I mean, it's a different terms of sales because your clients, as much as they come back, you're not dependent on like return business. You're looking for people that need
if I get a new job, I'm going to get my Go Drive with all of my clients on it and load it up before I ever tell anybody.
All right. Well, yes,
because they're going to be like, you're quitting.
Yeah,
and you might as well just leave now.
Right.
And they're going to shut my CRM off.
They would do that.
They're going to shut it off.
Yeah,
they're going to shut me off and walk me out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's the premise, right? Is
right.
that like, hey, if I'm gonna, so hopefully you have a new job lined up. Otherwise, I don't know where you're.
I don't have a non-compete though.
That doesn't matter. I don't have a non-compete either.
That's not a requirement of your job?
No.
Yeah, if it was, nobody would take that job.
No, because you have to. The nature of being in hospitality is you have to go to other places that are hospitality places. That'd like banish you from the market. Like that'd be like you can only work at one hotel forever.
Right, you got to like leave the city.
Yeah, that
no one's
doesn't.
Gonna do
that doesn't work.
Right. Check.
So anyway, you say, hey, here's my 2 weeks notice, and they say, great, we're gonna walk you because it's dangerous to keep you around.
It's dangerous.
If I wanted to like, okay, Kevin's gonna go to this new competitor hotel, and right now he's collecting like, if you go
he's
to
collecting leads that
when
he's
you go to
then transfer.
You could know the
You're
pipeline.
stealing our leads.
Well, no, and you also know like what's on the books for the next 6 months. Like you can give. Let's say you want to do this, which isn't necessarily the best thing to do, but you go to your new place and you give like that competitor. It's like getting traded from a team to a team. And sometimes they only trade a player just to get the info on the team.
Are you allowed in the
against.
NFL to like, if you're a wide receiver, to like go to a new team and be like, yo, this is the playbook?
Absolutely. That's why they have to change it every week and change it. But there's schemes that stay there the whole time. So that's why, when Favre, it doesn't even matter. Who is that guy that Green Bay picked up from the Vikes? Or when we got Greg Jennings. Like, it's like, oh, shit, now we have some inside info on our, like, you were there for 11 years. Right?
Right.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's the same thing. So they say, hey, see ya. And then so I had 2 weeks, so I took care of Lucy. And that was great. And I moved at that time. So it was just a whole...
It was a whole thing for you.
I had a good 2 weeks to do that. And then when I moved again... Oh, yeah, I didn't. I had some time to do some shit, but that was not pet-related. Yeah, so that's kind of long and short of it.
That's the long short of
so
it.
2 weeks is good for adopting a pet and getting that bond out of as a
I'd
puppy.
probably be there for a week. If I adopted a dog, I'd want a week off just to chill.
Yeah, to just get that relationship going, make sure he's not going to tear shit up,
Because when you leave for work, it's like, fuck.
Well, so I put Lucy in doggy daycare when we were both working during the day, and she would go.
How much does that cost?
Why? Like $25 a day, I guess.
That's
it rounds
expensive as fuck.
It is, but so that you have two choices. You can leave your dog in the house for 8 hours a day, and then when you get home, the trash is fucked or like whatever.
Trash dog.
Or you could, twice a week, you could, like a Tuesday and a Thursday, because you're home on the weekend, so you can walk and.
I'm not.
Well, so like twice a week,
I couldn't be a dog owner.
I agree. I agree. There's a lot of single people that think they could run the dog, but the good thing is if you do bring them to doggy daycare, all they're doing is running around with other dogs all day, which is great to burn their energy, right? Because that's if they're in the house all day, they're not going to be running around and burning their energy. So they come home and all they want you to do is like play with them and stuff. And obviously you have to cook dinner or whatever the fuck you have to do.
You get
So you
to
have
your
no energy.
daily shit.
Right. So all of a sudden you become like a bad dog owner. Dog gets fat. He doesn't want to do anything. He hates you. And that's what happens.
Yeah. Like
Versus
like Mika?
no, Mika has a lot of support.
But
from
she's
and
fat.
Paul's home all day. Well, that's because she's a trash dog. She goes in the garbage.
They let it happen.
Well, no, she's very devious.
Devious dog.
She's got a very poignant nose.
And not trained at all.
She's adorable. And for example, Lucy and Mika, when they run around, like it's great because then when I bring Lucy home, she's like, "Oh, I'm so tired." So when I pick her up from doggy daycare on like a Tuesday, bring her home, she's all tired all that night. Then the next day, she's fine all day. And when I come home, we go for a walk, and she has ripped the fucking living room apart.
Destroyed.
That's why, like, if you have a farm, leave dogs outside. Great.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Outside dogs are cool.
Well, that's what dogs are supposed to be, are outside dogs. If you have a super small dog, it's a little different because if you weigh 2 ounces.
Shout out to Spartacus.
Yeah,
best
you can
dog
run.
ever.
You can run around a house in a backyard like that.
Yeah.
It's a lot of, and it doesn't need to burn. Lucy's a Malamute cattle dog mix. She's very athletic. She needs to.
I don't believe there's any
prance.
Malamute in that dog. She's small.
The majority of her is Malamute. She's 40%.
She's
That's
only
why
like
she's
40
so soft.
pounds.
I know. That's why she's so soft.
Small dog.
It's the cattle dog that makes her small.
So the weather's getting cold.
Yeah, that's the way she goes.
Fall time.
I wish I could go out in the woods. This is the perfect time to do what I wanted to do.
So is hunting done? You're done hunting this year? No time for hunting.
Well, I can't really. Yeah, not
No
unless I
time
can get
for the
a
hunt.
week. Well, no, I mean we have all the way till December 31st till archery season ends. So,
But guns are out now.
yeah,
Guns out, fun's out.
I'm not worried about that.
Boom, 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 boom.
If anything, so there's some guided hunt archery things. It's not guided. Basically, it's like a weekend, and they'll put you in a place because they need to do its control. I think it's like Battle Creek has this, and so you basically like they do a test to make sure. So I can like I should probably just go get my sharpshooter's test done. But you take a test like a sharpshooter's test, so they make sure that you're not gonna like fucking not hit it. And then they like give you a number and give you a stand, and you just sit there. And
Jesus Christ.
Deer come by. What's up?
I'm losing to Steve by 5 points still.
Oh,
Going in late.
well, you got the whole day. It's only the noon games going on as we speak right now.
Cooper's crushing. Boyd's back on the field. Woo!
There's a lot of injuries
There's
going
live shit going
on.
on.
A lot of injuries going on. And the NFL.
Adam Thielen, 26 points today.
Wow,
8
really?
for
So that means he
114
caught
and a
another-
touchdown. Oh, yeah. Boyd's back on the field, though, so that gets me excited about the fourth quarter. Joe Burrow.
Yeah, the
Let's
Texans are
go.
embarrassing. At least Mike Davis has 21 points. Kamara's 20.
You know,
Paul,
I got
you
ranked up.
motherfucker.
I got ranked up from
Fucking
last
Chubb
place,
gets
like
fucking
like
injured to
finishing
Kareem Hunt.
last
Oh my
place
God.
to finishing 11th place.
Well, Austin Eckler is dead, so good thing I'm the handcuff king.
The fantasy excitement's
So I
going
have the
on this
handcuff.
afternoon. 2:37 in the p.m. This is the Phony Express Show podcast.
phonyexpressshow@gmail.com.
At gmail.com. Don't
Send
send
us.
us anything. Please don't.
and at Phony Express Show on Facebook,
Yeah.
and at Phony Express Show Podcast on YouTube.
Check us out.
And we, of course, are on all your Spotify and Apple
All major
podcasting.
streaming services. It's an amazing thing.
And one day we'll figure out how to put the video on Spotify to just kind of have that inclusive experience like Joe Rogan has. Which I do want to point out because Tom's father, and I'm glad I reminded myself of this, is a
Accomplished author.
accomplished author, but he speaks Latin, ancient Greek, Hebrew.
He
etc.
reads it all. He doesn't speak. He only speaks German and English.
Perfect, because this guy I'm going to talk about, he's the German shit man. Your dad's going to go nuts about this book. Immortality Key just was on JRE. If you want to see the podcast, Graham Hancock and Brian.
Was the author on JRE?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I gotta listen to that.
Oh yeah, that's all.
Is that how you got hooked up with this book?
Oh yeah, and then I started reading the book, but I just thought that if he hears about the book, but then that might, because there's some things, but then if he wants to just watch the author talk about it, put on the 3-hour JRE, and it will go through the book enough to sell it.
Do you know how red pill JRE is? I have to Google. I go online, and it's like in the morning, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to listen to something on the way to work. Oh, what
sure.
am I going to listen to? JRE.
Oh, yeah.
And I click like his latest episode.
Right.
And it's like somebody I've never heard of is the guest.
Yeah.
And that's happened for like the last 4 episodes. I have to Google these folks.
Well, that's the point. Is my favorite episodes, because when I first started listening, the reason I started listening is because he had specific jujitsu people on there, and they spoke for 3 hours.
Because he started as like a fight podcast, right?
No, he started as a comedy podcast.
And then he evolved into UFC fighting.
He evolved into guests. So yeah, MMA show. Like he just was talking to his friends, basically. You know, kind of like what we're doing right here. You know, just kind of fucking around. And then eventually, you know, he just had conversations with all sorts of people. And because he does jujitsu, he admires these people. And because these people like don't get a chance to like talk about jujitsu, like the reason I was interested is you don't find this knowledge. It's not like there's a book of jujitsu.
This is like public shit.
Well, theoretically there is the book of jujitsu, but I mean, at the end of the day, like looking at a bunch of images is not how you learn jujitsu, guys. It's experience, which is also what this book says. You don't learn about religion by reading. You learn about it by experience. That's a big deal.
Big time.
It's going to change our world, guys. We're living in a brand new world now. Anyway, spiritual world is going to be nice. Anyway, so I specifically was watching like these martial artists talk about very specific things because I was trying to tie my intellectual nonsense with like sometimes I have some natural ability in terms of like moving my body. Like as I was a pretty good dancer when I was in theater. Like they always kind of put me front and center because I was really coordinated. And I always got to dance with the hottest girls, right? That were in the dance class.
Hot girls.
Anyway, so like the reason I tried it, like people ask me, they're like, "Did you wrestle in high school and shit?" Because I'm actually getting pretty good at scrambling. Like I'm pretty fucking like the one good thing I'm good at is like if you get me in a scramble, I can get around you and maybe get that right around your back, like quick. I'm quick. So some guys will be like, you know,
I'll verify. Wrestled him in the front yard of Rich Gang 1.
That was like 3 months into jiu-jitsu.
That was you. Bob defeated.
Yeah, Bob defeated. But that was very basic jiu-jitsu. So when I'm going against these guys, they'll ask me like, "Do you do wrestle or whatever?" I'm like, "No, I haven't." But they get confused and they kind of get mad because like they're trying to ask me something and I really don't know what to tell them because all I have is like I used to dance like when I was in theater, and I was pretty good.
Let's dance.
Yeah,
let's dance.
I was pretty good at like, "Hey, chasse," you know what I mean? Step shuffle. What is it?
You were into tap dancing for a while too, right?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. When I was, I remember. So we had a dance choreographer who was fucking crazy. Banged 2 of the kids I knew in high school, and then left her studio and just dipped to the God knows who. Anyway, she was
Never
sweet.
heard that story. That was going to be a good one for a later date.
I'll tell you later after the show. But she was hilarious, and she really liked me, Wong, Knudsen, and Henry Hohertz. Right, because we were like the 4 guys that liked to.
Shout out to Henry. You talked to him. He's a dad too.
Yeah, he is. I gotta say what up to him.
Yeah, you do.
And gorgeous wife. She's very nice.
Oh, I've only met her like once. She's really cool.
I met her a couple times. She's wonderful person. They're very in love, and of course he's such a big sweetheart. Right. So
they got a cute little house in Bloomington.
Oh yeah, I saw they bought
the area of South of
I
Minneapolis.
see things on Facebook. I never go on Facebook, and if you guys are going on Facebook thinking about your next political post, like I'm just not in that world, and I tuned in because I'm in the hospital and stuff. I have to tune into like commercials. Which
Did you
I
watch
never
the
do.
trash debate between our 2 trash political candidates?
Let's just say I read the footnotes. I have had to like the public like radio because I only listen to books when I'm driving and stuff like
Radio.
that. So I'm like listening to the radio because Kelly likes Cool 108. And they just, I mean, guys, if this is the world you guys are living in where you listen to this shit all day, not the music. I'm talking about like the in-between, like the commercials.
It's
and the,
trashing up your life.
and the voting thing and the just so divisiveness and this purpose like, hey, like try not to be divisive. Don't add to the divisiveness, guys. It's like, yeah, don't. Like tune out, guys.
We're trying to send good vibes out here.
Yeah, man. This is the Phone Express Show podcast. We send good vibes out in the universe, not bullshit. Not bullshit that nobody wants to fucking read because who the fuck put you into a fucking University of fucking Athens and decided that you had a fucking reason
Everyone
to
thinks
type
they're an
on their
expert on
fucking
everything.
phone.
That's the best part.
And Walter Benjamin, my man up there, which when I decide to do the solo Kevcast for all my crazy stuff under the table, he's like my first guy. But he predicts all this because basically once you teach the and I'm not trying to be weird, once you teach everyone how to read and write, the aura, what he calls the aura of it, diminishes. So when you have something that's special, whatever that is, it's special because it's limited. And that's like a Pareto distribution thing, right? Like top 1% owned, like most of the money, like that precious.
Beyond reading and writing, what would that be?
Social media. So the newspaper. He predicts it about the newspaper. So this is the thing. So back in the day, right? Let's just call it the priest. He wrote Latin, read Latin, so you could like speak to God because of the Latin. And actually, this book that I'm going to bring up again, Immortal Key, shows why that whole system. once you experience something,
Pitch
right?
the book, Kev. We got The Immortal Key. This is what he's on recently.
No. Just watch the JRE. You'll get all about it.
But who's the author?
When you experience
who's the author? Who's the guest?
Brian Mararescu. He's got a hard last name to pronounce. Mararescu. Brian C. Mararescu.
He sounds smarter than me. That's for fuck sure.
He is. He's been working on this for 12 years. He reads all the shit. He was like me in terms of like he studied like the classics and Latin and then like worthless degree. Like I studied theater. You know what I mean? But the reason I studied theater, like you have to understand, we study the same things. Ancient Greek fucking plays and all that kind of stuff, which is why me and Dr. B kind of like, I could like toss some of this like ritualistic shit his way, and he was like, yeah, but I'm like, you know, a liturgical scholar and I read ancient Greek and we're gonna look at the symbolism. I'm like, exactly, the symbolism, so we could meet halfway, which is why he gave me A's, like, because I would write real,
So why he gave me A's?
because I wrote real shit. Well, later on when we were, so it's all about Jesus in the as a historical figure, because as your dad would say, we don't care about anything except for who this guy really was, because if you find out who the guy really was, that justifies the belief and not like the whole thing. I mean, it's like, if you're going to base your belief system on theoretically a person that existed, let's try to fucking find who that person really was. Like some biological evidence would be great. For example, Dr. B would be like, great, we proved Jesus was alive. That would be a big deal, right?
Right.
Right. So his whole class is like just Jesus as a historical figure, because we have all this fucking shit about it. There's all this, let's call it religious scholarship about it, which has been pitched as history, because again, as your dad would say, are we Christian or are we Greek? And we're not talking about that as like a thing. We're talking as a United States nation, as a Western civilization, are we Greek or are we Christian? And there's a lot of weird stuff in there. For example, I'll give you a great example, because everyone would be like, we're not Christian, we're secular. Like, you know, we have a Senate, we have whatever, we're very democratic, we're very...
It's getting pretty deep for the Phony Express Show podcast
Greek.
here.
We're very Greek. Even the White House, right? When you get your inauguration, what do you swear? Behind you got these great Greek columns. We're Greek, you know, we're very logical, right? But why are
that's just history.
But then,
What's historical,
but listen, but then why would all the presidents put their hand on a Bible to swear in, or any kind of religious textbook? They don't have to do that. That's not in it. That's in the zeitgeist, because we still are, you know, this religious. We have this spiritual.
Do you think
connection.
in our lifetime we're gonna have a president who decides to not put their hand on the Bible?
I would be very curious to see what that backlash would be like, because we have this as humans. We have this identity complex, and I'm not going to get into it, but. Because I can get it, because that's for the solo Kev cast whenever it comes out.
Anyway,
whatever. But Walter Benjamin would say, like, once you take the aura away from something, then it loses its power. For example, if I taught you how to read and write, and you were like the only person that knew how to read and write, then you would use you that becomes an important gift, right? You have a lot of power. There's a lot of responsibility to that. If we give it to everybody, which is fine, but then I, as ego I. In a social media world, think that somebody cares about my 140 character thought, thinks that that's actually like substantial and that's going to like change the world, and that people, you have to listen to it. You have to, my shit is worth listening to, because
I got a lot to say.
Because I'm writing it. And guess what? Because I can, I will, and I have the right to write. It's like, that's great, but nobody's, why do you think that you are somebody that like anybody should be reading or listening to? If anything, you're the junk food for everybody. If you're scrolling, it's just like when you see those Facebook things, you want to click on it where it says like 30 comments, and you go to, it takes you like half an hour, and you're just consuming just like the junk food,
just the bullshit.
Yeah, and you're
a lot
like,
of bullshit.
Why do these people think of this way? It's mental illness. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, Walter Benjamin, he basically predicts social media because he calls it the newspaper. So the newspaper is written for the people. Right? So if the people, they have to purchase the newspaper, and the newspaper survives because it is bought. You need to fucking buy it with a couple pennies. So if you don't write what people want to read, they won't buy the paper, then you don't have a newspaper. So in order to have a successful newspaper, you have to write what the people want. And classic Foucault, which we've talked about in the show, is basically that people don't know what's good for them. And that's like a Thomas Hobbes school of thought. People are inherently evil, right? And we, at the Phony Express Show podcast, we're not all about John Locke.
We're not evil here.
We just draw the
We're just in the basement.
We like the classical principles of freedom, of belief, integrity, all those things. This is a place for growth, not restriction. All right, that felt good. I'm done.
So this week on
Bob's News?
Bob's Value.
Everyone's going to be happy now that we got the Bob's News.
No,
We should
it's okay. It's not Bob's
we should
News.
timestamp this.
It's not
People would
Bob's News.
skip
It's
through
Bob's
the
Bring a
bullshit.
Trailer Special 1995 Ferrari 348 Spider.
Bring it.
8 days left on this auction. It's got 57,000
And
miles
Bob,
on it.
you can bid on auctions. Bob's like
I can.
I
can.
Bob's can certify represent
I'm
somebody.
a certified broke ass.
broke ass.
Mm-hmm. And this car is 35 grand, too much for me to afford. But
Oh
it's
fuck
got
yeah, Paul D. Schultz just got a touchdown. S my D, you bitch.
Woo-wee!
We're now only 7 projected in between, so I can.
Kevin,
catch
what's
up.
your record this year?
I'm 2-1 right now.
So am I. I'm kidding. I'm 1-2.
Yeah, so I'm in.
A little bit
I'm tied for
shittier.
first, and you're tied for second.
No, I'm also tied to end.
You're tied for second. I'm tied for first because there's only 3 games, and nobody's undefeated, and there's only one person in last place. So everyone's.
Well,
two-
that's actually a
everyone's
really good
two-
way to put it.
Yeah, everyone's 2-1 or 1-2.
Why am I
and there's only
projected
one
to
person
end
0-3?
one place above 2020 ass tattoo?
Which is Paul?
No.
Oh, do you mean just last place?
Projections for last place.
Oh, you're talking about like that power rankings thing?
Yeah.
I don't know how that works.
I don't even know why they do it. It's so dumb. Everyone's like, "Oh, you're gonna get last place." It says you're gonna get last place. I'm like,
It's
"Oh,
just
fuck
for
you."
the shit talk, you know. It's the algorithm to make you angry.
Dial up the death.
Yeah.
Anyway,
What do you got? Because we're wrapping up now. We're on the wraps. We got plenty
Are
of
you
time.
serious?
Well, yeah. We got
this is
plenty.
a short ass podcast.
I know. We got plenty of time. But
I was
we're on
just
the
gonna
wraps.
say I can't afford the Ferrari 348 Spider.
Would you say the
Beautiful
Diablos?
red Ferrari.
Oh, that's pretty.
8 days left,
Oh,
35
man.
grand,
That's the
57,000
F,
miles on it. And that's my Bring a Trailer pick of the week here.
Where you saying the Lambo Diablos are holding their value or some shit?
Yeah,
like that?
yeah. There's a Diablo SV on here, but it's 197,000 miles. It's a 1998 with fucking 23,000 miles on it. But it's an SV. It's a Diablo SV. Very important to know. Everyone knows that Lamborghini has SV as their moniker for their high-performance race editions,
Yeah.
and it is quite the car. $197,000 for a 22-year-old Lamborghini. Just so you know, that's holding its value.
Less than $250,000. It's no big deal. If you're gonna buy a RAR,
I want to buy a Rari. My buddy bought a Rari.
less than $250,000.
No,
Yeah.
my buddy.
I know.
And-
I said less. Did he buy it for less than $250,000?
Oh yeah, he bought it for 50 grand.
Oh,
A 355 Spider
how many
manual.
miles?
Had needed the motor out service.
Yeah,
needed a
okay.
bunch of shit done to it. He bought it like
Where'd he send it? Someplace in
no,
Cali?
he did all the work himself. He's like 50 grand. This thing needs a lot of work. Bought because everyone's scared of these Ferraris.
I
'Cause
know.
It costs thousands of
Well,
dollars
'cause
to
you
fix
have
this
to
shit.
find somebody that knows how to do it.
So
but
he got
clearly-
it. He got it.
And
Brought it over to his Motorplex garage that his grandfather owns.
Ah.
And he did all of the work, and now he's got a $100,000 car
yeah.
for 50 grand.
Yeah. That's how. Yeah.
They also have a Lamborghini Murcielago in the garage, guys. License plate's bull shift. It's a manual Murcielago. It's sick.
You're kind of figuring out how to. I thought you were a hashtag car suck guy. Anyway, you're kind of learning how to tune up the bike, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's already fully souped.
But like if you found like a
but I didn't.
$100 Ducati,
I
you could soup
I
it up
did
into
the
like a 10 grand
bolt-ons.
Ducati.
I did the bolt-ons, and I paid people to do the extensive work.
Right, and that's what you're.
I got a
you're
guy now.
You're known for just paying people to do the extensive work.
I got a guy now.
You were always like car sound.
I want shit done right.
Yeah, I'm with you. But then you're not going to be the 50 grand turning it into a 100 grand.
I
Ferrari
broke my
guy.
bike last week. I broke it worse. Then I fixed it. Now it runs.
Sounds great.
Didn't tell anybody about that
What
because that's
happened?
just. So I had a battery misconnection on the positive terminal, and I was like cutting out while I was like riding, and then it almost left me stranded.
That's unsafe.
In Bloomington. Oh yeah, no. So I rode it home after riding it all day, and I was like, did a snap of like what was going on, and I
Yeah.
did it, and it acted up on live on the Snapchat. And I was
Okay.
like, fuck. So I pulled the battery out, fixed the terminal. Then I put it back in backwards and wired it backwards, and I blew the entire electrical system.
Oh wow, because you put it in upside down.
Yeah.
So then you trailered it to the guy.
No, I did a bunch of research,
Ah.
replaced the 50 amp fuse on the battery, and then it still didn't run right. So then I ended up doing more research the next day. Missed an entire day off riding. Sucky. Beautiful day.
Uh-huh.
One of the last.
Uh-huh.
Then I replaced a 15 amp fuse for the throttle position sensor. Now it runs fucking great.
There you go.
I thought I cooked the whole fucking thing. I was really scared for a while. I was like, I just cost myself $2,000. Easy. Destroyed it.
Yeah.
Then I did a bunch of wheelies on the way here. We're all good. That's all I got.
Looks good out there. Still blue.
Figured out how to bundle
Haven't
up for
dropped
the
it either.
fucking winter.
Oh yeah, what's your gear? You had quite the.
I
you
added,
had the,
I added a
yes,
light
the base
sweatshirt
layer.
under my jacket.
The base layer is
and
important.
I got some good gloves for winter.
Tell me about your shirt, B. Before
It's Standing Stone Brewing Company from Oregon.
yeah.
Shout out to Standing Stone Brewing Company, Ashland,
Love
Oregon.
Ashland, Oregon.
Good ass beer.
They do a wonderful Shakespeare festival if you guys want to hit it up in the spring.
I don't know. They didn't do it this year, 2020.
No. Yeah, it's in the springtime. If you guys ever want to check that out, I think it's in late March or early April, if I remember correctly. I never saw a show there, but went to a bar. I think it was called either Oberon or it was called.
Oberon? No, Oberon.
Yeah.
Oberon?
Yeah, or it was called.
That's a big.
it's called Tatiana.
I was like, Oberon's a big brewing company. They make that.
It's also the King of the Fairies. His name's Oberon, and Tatiana is his wife. And Midsummer Night's Dream is the play that's from, and that's what the bar is themed after.
Where's this at?
Cool place, Ashland, Oregon, where they where the water, they're famous for their water.
That's why the beer's good.
They have a lot of fountains though when you go there.
Yeah, but the number one ingredient in beer is water.
I
If your
know.
water is good, you have a good base.
Do you know what the 3 ingredients are to make it beer?
Yeast, hops,
No,
water.
no. There's 3 ingredients, otherwise it's not beer.
Get drunk.
3 ingredients, otherwise it's not beer. This is all in the book.
The book of what?
Immortal Key.
For beer?
Yeah. So this
The
long story
recipe
short,
for beer is in that shit?
it's the most. So this is the whole thing. Humans use
I thought it
psychedelics.
was barley, hops, and water.
It's all about psychedelics, man. And ergot. is
Put
the
them
big thing.
boom, boom, booms in that beer, and all
Yes,
of a
sir.
sudden we got a good time. We're going.
It's not. You can use it for recreational purposes, but it's more to commune with the spirits that are here, that live in the planet, right? Because it's the root, the tree.
Is this
has
like my
life.
relationship with like my sister?
Yeah,
with like
she's right. That's what I said.
ceremony.
Yep, that's
in
100%.
the teepee.
Absolutely. And if you think about it, the Eucharist. So this is the whole thing. The Eucharist is the first Eucharist for the Paleo Christians, psychedelic, and we need to prove that. We're going to prove that in the next 10 years. And we've already proven all the scholarship up to that point with this book, The Immortal Key. And the best part, the author of it is a psychedelic virgin. So he's been working on it for 12 years and never tried psychedelics. That's his whole thing.
Time to test drive your own supply.
And if you want to look into anything like this, I'd recommend ayahuasca, spelled AYUASK.
I probably just eat some boom, boom, booms. I got to say, hey.
Yep. So fungus is the most important, as you know, as I know, because we've been awakened by the wonderful fungus. You just know that you kind of lose a little fear of death, and it's very important. It's completely
We've been
natural,
awakened.
And basically, our ancestors for several tens of thousands of years have been doing this, and this is how they. This is the mysterious secret religion that's been going on for 40,000 years. And I'm here to tell you guys, watch the JRE because it's gonna change your lives.
I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, man, the world's gonna change. It's gonna be beautiful. It's gonna be beautiful.
That sounds like better than my favorite JRE to date.
Which is Alex Jones or what?
Alex Jones. No, he can suck a fat dick.
I know he's crazy.
No, it's the
Yeah, this is like real
the
scholarship.
magician.
Oh,
David Blaine.
Yeah, see, this is like real 12-year scholarship that he's put so much work into. It's mind-blowing. We're looking at ancient artifacts. We're putting together the ancient story of Demeter and Persephone, what it really means, and why we lost that grandmother motif and how it's turned into a witch motif.
We got to get out of the basement. I don't get any reception for fantasy down here.
No, we have bad internet.
That's
down
a
here.
problem.
Well, guess what? We're going to get out of here. Aaron, send me the intro again or the outro again. I could try to find it. But
Join us next week. We might do a morning guy.
A morning guy would be awesome.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, I'm kind of 11 to 5
Get
right
the producer
now,
back in here.
home.
We've got to rehire him. Talk to the lawyers. Got to get him back on staff.
We'll see. He said when it gets colder, maybe in the morning. That's a good point. The producer might be available. Where the fuck? Oh, newbie archery questions. Back on. Okay.
Newbie archery questions.
I'm not going to answer those.
Give me one.
Okay. I'm looking into starting archery next season, and I'm trying to narrow down my bow search. Ugh. I hunt.
Oh,
okay. So
it's like I want to get into cars. What's the fastest
Yeah.
thing on the street for less than $5,000?
I'm not
Get
necessarily
fucked.
looking for bow recommendations, but what specifications are important and minimums? Wow, this is 1, speed FPS. 2, any issues with single cam bows for western hunting? Yeah, don't get a single cam bow yet. R word. How short is too short? ATA. Okay.
PC here at the
So there's
Show
14
podcast.
comments, which is obviously why. So I use Facebook to look at stupid stuff.
I use Facebook to
And then everyone that comments on it doesn't know what the
Go
fuck
on
they're talking
rides.
about.
no.
And I don't know what I'm talking about either, which is probably why I'm following that thread, so I can just look at stuff. I guess the archery stuff I would know, but I rolled my
You're
eyes. at
kind
that
of
question.
seasoned now. Like you get it.
Oh, I get it. I can shoot that thing pretty good.
like someone who's new to Bose, you could be like, give them a lot of
Oh
tips.
yeah, I could give him a whole thing.
Right.
Because I got the proper instruction from the ground up, like from the pros. I know it's YouTube, and several hours of JRE. Going back to the JRE conversation, he also has like John Dudley, Cam Haynes. Cam Haynes was just on. He was legit as fuck. Oh, I love Cam. You just listen to Cam. He's been on there now 4 times. So that's 12 hours of Cam I've listened to, plus his YouTube videos. John Dudley's been on there at least twice. So that's 6 hours of John. And then fucking Joel Turner, I think, has been on there. He's the man talking about target panic and the mantra. And so, and you know, there's other people like Jocko is a big archer now. Andy Murray does it. So when you spend that much time listening to this stuff, you just kind of beat the learning curve.
I mean, there still is a learning curve, but you
That's true.
fast track yourself.
Correct. Going back to the experience part, is nothing that's gonna make you be able to pull back a 70-pound bow and hold it
nothing
there
is
all
better
day.
than actually doing it. Like, you can be a YouTube mechanic all day
Right.
long. I can fix cars. I watch this, that.
Right.
Until you fucking do it, you can't do it.
Right, and you can. But the good thing is you can prepare yourself to that point, so that when you're in that moment, you could be very aware of the situation and make good decisions based on your preparation.
Check.
But it's that thing, you know. Hey, we talk about practice. This ain't the game. We talk about practice, right? Like, you know, there's a lot of people. They're like, oh yeah, I'm shooting.
Is there a
20-yard
photo of
target.
Joe Rogan on your board there?
Yeah, that's next to the podcast thing.
I love it.
But look, the board says podcast. That was back when we didn't have podcast, and now we have a podcast. The board's magic. That's the power of the board.
Be present. Make
That's
love.
Walter. Okay, so the guy on the far left, that's Walter Benjamin.
Make tea. Avoid small talk.
Mhm.
Embrace conversation.
Mhm.
Buy a plant. Water it.
Mm-hmm.
Make your bed.
Mm-hmm.
Make someone else's bed.
Mm-hmm.
Have
Keep
a
reading.
smart mouth
Mm-hmm.
and a quick wit.
Yes, keep reading.
Run. Make art. Create. Swim in the ocean.
Yeah.
Swim in the rain.
Mm-hmm.
Take chances. Ask questions. Make mistakes. Love fiercely. Forgive quickly. Let's go of what doesn't
Let
make
go
you
of what doesn't
let
make you
go of what
happy.
doesn't make you happy. Grow. I like that.
Paulo Coelho. He wrote The Alchemist.
Fire it up.
It's a good dude. That's Walter Benjamin on the far left. And then followed by Carl Jung, Alan Watts, and my boy Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee.
Yep. And then Hicks and Gracie's down there.
Is Jet Li as good as Bruce Lee?
No. And their last names are spelled differently.
Keanu Reeves is coming out with a new movie.
Which one?
John
Matrix
Wick.
4?
John Wick 4.
Which one's coming out first? John Wick 4 or Matrix 4?
He's doing both of them.
Yeah. I think they're coming out back to back too. John Wick 4 is going to be sick.
John Wick's awesome.
Yeah. I still have to see the third one.
Shout out to the producer for turning me onto that series. Holy shit.
Oh yeah. I got so I told you about Schitt's Creek.
I gotta watch that.
Gotta watch Schitt's Creek, number 1. I mean, Yellowstone.
Is it that
but-
good of a show?
Yeah, man. Even I was talking to Landlord. Landlord was like, "Oh yeah, me and H-Word started watching that show," and I was like, "Nice, dude." So we're on the same page, Landlord and I. He's watching it too. He's on the second season. So we just
How many
embarked
seasons
on
are
that
there
journey.
right now?
3.
So I'm kind of late to the
9 Emmys.
Party.
Now that everyone's on it. And what happened was we were at the fucking hospital, and it said they were gonna do like the first season, and it was like 9 Emmys awards. We were started today at 7 Central. So I was like, oh great. So we saw the first episode. It's hilarious. It's on Netflix. So we just popped on Netflix and
Gonna
started
look
going.
into that one for sure.
All right, we're gonna get out of here. Let's see if I can find this outro. Tap dance for me. Vikings won, by the way.
We
Tap
did?
dance, yeah.
We did?
Yeah.
We won?
Yeah, 31 to like 23 or something.
No way.
Yeah, Deshaun Watson gets paid so much money for doing his thing.
Oh my god.
All right. See you guys.
I'm getting smoked.
Great job, guys. That's a wrap. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe, hit that like button, and stay tuned for more captivating conversation on next week's episode of the Phony Express Show podcast.